Today, we're going to dive into one of the most detailed and profound narratives in the Quran. It's the story of Yusuf, who you might also know as Joseph. It's an incredible journey of dreams, betrayal, patience, and ultimately forgiveness. So, let's get right into it.
So, right from the get-go, the source itself makes this huge claim, calling this the best of stories. That's a pretty high bar, right? It's telling us to expect something more than just a simple tale. We're being promised a masterpiece, one that's full of human drama and divine wisdom.
All right, so where does it all start? Well, like so many great stories, it kicks off with a dream. A young boy, Yusuf, shares something really extraordinary he saw in his sleep with his father, and this one conversation sets a massive chain of events in motion that will shape his entire life.
So what was this dream all about? Well, it was packed with symbolism. He sees 11 stars, the sun and the moon, which represent his 11 brothers and his parents, and they're all bowing down to him. His father, Jacob, gets the meaning immediately and gives him a critical piece of advice. Whatever you do not tell your brothers about this. He knew that their jealousy could be a very dangerous thing.
And you know Jacob's fears? They were spot on. This quote right here gets to the heart of the problem. The brothers don't see themselves as just being jealous. In their minds, their father is in clear error. They've twisted their envy into this feeling of righteous indignation, and they use it to justify the terrible plan that's starting to form.
And look, this wasn't some spur-of-the-moment thing. No, this was cold, calculated. Just look at the steps. First, they lie to their dad to get him to trust them with Yusuf. Then, they throw their own little brother into a well and leave him for dead. And to top it all off, they cook up this elaborate lie, complete with a blood-stained shirt to cover their tracks. So, from the darkness of that well, Yusuf's story takes this wild turn. He gets rescued by a passing caravan, but his freedom is short-lived. He's sold into slavery in Egypt and ends up in the house of a high-ranking official. And it's here, in this new land, that his character is about to face its first huge test.
Fast forward a bit, and Yusuf's grown up. The wife of his master becomes infatuated with him. Now this is a massive test of his integrity. Think about it. He's a slave. He has zero power, and this powerful woman is putting him in an impossible situation. His loyalty and his faith are seriously on the line.
And his reaction? Wow. It's immediate. No hesitation. He turns to God for protection and then reminds himself and her of the kindness his master has shown him. This isn't just him trying to get out of a tough spot. It's a declaration of who he is. His integrity holds up even when he thinks no one else is watching.
So when she accuses him of attacking her, the whole thing comes down to one single piece of evidence, his shirt. It's almost like an ancient detective story. If the shirt was torn from the front, it would mean he was the aggressor. But his was torn from the back, the physical proof that he was the one trying to get away from her.
But here's the really unjust part. Even though the evidence clearly proves he's innocent, it doesn't matter. To protect the family's reputation and avoid a scandal, they need a scapegoat. So, the innocent man, the one who did the right thing, gets thrown in prison. It's just another devastating blow for Yusuf.
So now, the setting shifts again. We go from a powerful man's house to a dark, grim prison. But here's the thing. That special gift of his, the very one that sparked his brother's jealousy and started this whole mess, well, it's about to become his key to freedom.
In prison, he ends up meeting two of the king's own servants, a cupbearer and a baker. They're both freaked out by dreams they've had, so Yusuf interprets them, and his accuracy is just stunning. He tells the cupbearer he'll be freed and get his job back, and he tells the baker that he'll be executed, and that is exactly what happens. And then, nothing. Years go by. Yusuf is just left to rot in prison, totally forgotten. Until, that is, the king of Egypt himself has a dream so strange and so unsettling that it has all of his advisors and magicians completely stumped, and the stability of the entire kingdom is starting to feel shaky. And this dream is a weird one, right? He sees 7 fat, healthy-looking cows getting eaten by 7 skinny, sickly ones. Then he sees 7 lush, green ears of grain being devoured by 7 that are all dry and withered. As everyone in the palace is panicking, the cupbearer suddenly has a flash of memory. He remembers the guy in prison who could interpret dreams.
Okay, this is it. This is the moment where everything flips on its head. Yusuf is pulled out of the depths of that dungeon and brought to stand right in front of the pharaoh, the most powerful man in the land.
His life is about to change in the most dramatic way you can imagine.
And what Yusuf does next is just brilliant. He doesn't just say, here's what your dream means. He explains that it's a prophecy. 7 years of incredible abundance are going to be followed by 7 years of a terrible famine. But then he offers a solution, a whole national strategy for survival. Save the extra grain from the good years to survive the bad.
But hold on. Before he accepts any position of power, Yusuf makes one demand: clear my name. This leads to a new investigation, and this time, the official's wife finally confesses in public. This isn't about getting revenge for him. It's about justice. His honor, which he suffered for so many years to protect, is finally restored for everyone to see.
So the king sees it all, the wisdom, the foresight, and now the proven integrity, and he makes this absolutely mind-blowing decision. He appoints Yusuf, a former slave, a foreigner, a man who just walked out of prison, to be the treasurer of Egypt. He puts him in charge of the entire nation's food supply.
And sure enough, everything happens exactly as Yusuf said it would. The years of plenty come and go, and then the famine hits, and it's bad. It's not just in Egypt, it grips the whole region. People from all over are forced to travel to the one place that has food, which of course is Egypt. And among those desperate travelers are some very familiar faces.
And this scene, wow, the dramatic irony is off the charts. The very same brothers who threw him in a well are now bowing before him, begging for food. He knows exactly who they are, but they have no idea. To them, he's just some powerful, unapproachable Egyptian governor.
So Yusuf doesn't reveal himself right away. He puts them through a few tests, not to be cruel, but to see if they've changed, if they feel any remorse. And once he's satisfied, he sets up the big reveal. He doesn't just say, "Hey, it's me." He hits them with this piercing question. You can just imagine the shock and horror dawning on their faces as they put the pieces together.
Now think about this. He has all the power. They are completely at his mercy. After everything they did to him, he could do anything he wanted to them. But instead, he says this. He offers them complete, unconditional forgiveness on the spot. He doesn't even lecture them. He just lifts the blame and points them toward God's mercy. It's an absolutely incredible moment of grace. So when you lay it all out like this, you can see how this massive, sprawling story just comes perfectly full circle. That dream from all those years ago, the one that caused so much pain and jealousy, is finally fulfilled. His whole family, the sun, the moon, and the 11 stars, are all there, bowing before him, not out of fear, but out of love and respect. So in the end, after decades of trials and suffering, the story's big climax isn't about getting even, it's about mercy. Yusuf's real victory wasn't becoming a powerful ruler, it was finding the inner strength to forgive those who wronged him most. And it leaves us with a pretty deep question to think about. What is true power? Is it the ability to punish your enemies, or is it the strength to pardon them?